Super duper doo, how are you? I'm sure you are amazing. And would you like to stay amazing for your whole entire life? So whether you are 20, 50, 80, 100, wouldn't it be awesome to stay young with energy, with enthusiasm and passion for life and have a body that can keep up with you? So this is my anti-aging room. Get fit, get strong in here, get puff lift heavy so that my body stays young and strong for long. So I'm asking you, if you want to stay young, strong, fit, healthy, mentally tough, isn't it awesome that exercise can do all of that for us? So if you want a mentally strong brain, you want to be mentally tough, mentally healthy, when you get puffed and when you lift heavy, you pump epinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol. This is if you exercise intensely, so you do high intense activity to get really puffed and lift really heavy. Those neurotransmitters then produce dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which are the happy drugs that change your brain chemistry to make you feel good. So when you exercise, you always feel good mentally. But that brain-derived neurotrophic factor, that's the interesting one because that's fertilizer for your brain. That pumps when you lift heavy, get puffed, and that makes your brain work better. Produces neuroplasticity, so you think differently, neurogenesis, so that you create new brain cells so you can think better, think stronger, think more creatively, have a healthy brain. Yay, great reason to exercise. So what does your brain control? Everything else. So if you've got a strong, healthy brain, then of course your skeletal and muscular system are more likely to work more effectively because the central nervous system fires them up. But the beautiful circle of that is that when you lift heavy and when you get puffed, you get strong heart and lungs, strong muscles and bones, respiratory, cardiovascular, skeletal and muscular system, endocrine, hormonal system all work together. The other big exciting one for me is the immune system. Strong muscles pull on strong bones. Your immune system's built inside your bones, and if you want to stay healthy, avoid germs, bugs, viruses and diseases. And if you do pick up a germ, bug or virus, you can get rid of it really quickly and it's less likely to come back. That's your immune system, and that works so much better when you're healthy, fit and strong. Yay! So not only can you stay young and strong and energetic, but you can avoid getting sick. That's awesome, yeah? Then, of course, when you've got strong muscles and bones, great central nervous system, endocrine system, you're going to have a faster metabolism, you're going to burn fat faster, you're more likely to be lean and stay lean for the rest of your life. Hair, skin, nails, they're more likely to be healthy and fit and look amazing. Strong teeth, bright eyes, yay! But now comes the one that I find often we don't talk about, and one that for me is one of the best reasons to exercise. So yes, I love to feel good. Yes, I want to be energetic. Yes, I want to have healthy, strong bones for the rest of my life so I don't get osteoporosis. Yes, I want to have strong muscles so I've got a fast metabolism, great posture, and I can do all the things that I want to do. But very openly, one of the things I was really scared of as a young exercise professional, as a young person, I was scared of getting old because I could see what happened to old people. And a very personal story. My mother, who had already had 5 children, went to the doctor at a very old age and said to the doctor, "I'm pregnant again." And the doctor said, "No, Mrs. Cesarin, you're going through menopause. That's why you don't have a period." And she said, "No, I've had 5 other children. I know that I'm pregnant." Sure enough, my mother was pregnant with me. Woohoo! So when I was born, technically, my mother was already old. She shouldn't have been able to have children. She was supposed to have already gone through menopause. So I watched my mother, and unfortunately, because I wasn't a good living, breathing example as an exercise professional for many years of the first part of my career. I used to run around in tiny little clothes and wear embarrassing clothes and say silly things and made exercise all complicated and horrible. My mother didn't want to exercise. It wasn't that she wasn't active, but she certainly didn't want to lift heavy things or get puffed, technically what we call exercise. So she aged pretty quickly and pretty badly, and I saw that. It was obvious. So she got coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, really bad asthma, arthritis. She was overweight. Life was not good for my mother. And I want to share with you a very embarrassing story about what happens to a lot of people when they get old. And I share with you why I know this happens to a lot of people. The whole process of going to the bathroom, so whether it's number 1s or number 2s, for men or women, it seems that, or we've been told that as you get older, that you will lose control of that system. And I watched this happen to my mother. She was 74 years of age. We had a big Christmas event. The family got together, and you can imagine with so many children, there's grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And it was at my brother's house, and my brother had just purchased a new white couch sofa, and it was made of material. And my mother was sitting on that new couch because everyone put her there because great-grandma should have the great new couch to sit on. And she was laughing and joking and having a great time, and kids were opening presents, and it was a very happy day. In one of those laughing episodes, though, my mother peed her pants, and we went everywhere over my brother's new white couch. Now, there's a whole heap of reasons why that's a horrible thing to happen, but I'm sharing this with you really personally because I saw that happen, saw how embarrassed my mother was, and I didn't ever want to go through that. I thought, how can I stop this from ever happening to me? How can I stop this from happening to anybody else? Now, ironically, not that long after that, my mother was diagnosed with advanced osteoporosis. And that's when my gorgeous husband K-Man stepped in and said, you're not going to get osteoporosis, we're going to get rid of your osteoporosis. We're not going to let this get any worse than it already is. In fact, we're going to get rid of it. My mother had been told that she would be in a walking frame, that they had already ordered a wheelchair. She was already using a walking stick. And basically K-Man said, enough is enough, we're going to build your bones back. So she started strength training, heavy strength training. Now, of course, she didn't start off heavy, but it's amazing how quickly the body can regenerate even when it's old. So at 74 years of age, my mother started boxing, running up and down stairs. We pulled her out of a retirement village where everybody's getting old really fast, mentally and physically, and we bought her an apartment on the Gold Coast right next to the beach. So she had to go, and she wasn't allowed to use the lift, and it was a very tall building. So she had to walk up the stairs for her heart, down the stairs for her bones. She would swim every day in the ocean, and she would run on the soft sand. So we completely changed her life. That all happened at 74. So interestingly, at 80 years of age, my mother got a bone mineral density test. We'd pretty much gotten rid of her she had no more osteoporosis. She had slight osteopenia. So we'd built her bones back. But what had happened at 74 after the episode with the couch is that my mother was told to start wearing adult nappies. And as I shared before, I know that this happens to a lot of people because when I travel to the United States, adult nappies are advertised on television all the time, which means if they're advertised a lot, that means there's a lot of people buying them. And I actually can't think of too many worse things than having to wear a nappy as an adult. And my mother was told you need to wear these nappies to catch the wee because your internals, your control of your detrusor muscle, the muscle that stops you from tinkling, that's weak and broken and you're going to tinkle. And unfortunately, that affects all the internals. So if you want to be the person who lives young and strong for long and still makes love to your partner so you can still have a great intimate sex life, that often gets broken because the internals are broken because your muscles are weak, the internal muscles of your body. So I'm hearing have to wee into a nappy, can't have a great sex life. You'll often hear about just a lack of control of both number ones and number twos. And that thought I just couldn't stand it. But here's something really exciting. My mother, who started heavy strength training, and she really did, she got very strong. She got very strong with boxing. She could lift really quite heavy weight with her entire body. And for an 80-year-old woman, very heavy weight. And I've got another very quick story. Challenges with heart in my family. So everyone in my mother's family died under the age of 60 of a heart attack. And here's my mother at 74 now, still alive because she'd been active and had a healthier life than the rest of the people in her family. But she had a couple of heart attacks. And one of the heart attacks, when she came out of the operation, the first thing she said to the cardiologist was, when can I start boxing again? And she was 80 years of age. I'd like you to see the look on a cardiologist's face when an 80-year-old woman says, after a heart operation, the first thing, when can I start boxing again? So I'm sharing all of this with you with passion and enthusiasm because obviously my mother went from being a very old, unwell, overweight lady at 74 to being a very fit, strong, healthy woman at 80 years of age. And no nappies. This is where it's really exciting. And the stories, again, are embarrassing, but very cool. My mother would put her swimmers on the high-story apartment on the Gold Coast. She would run down the stairs for her bones. cross the road to the beach, swim in the ocean, run up and down the soft sand, swim in the ocean again, have a cold shower. And what she didn't want to do was wear her wet swimming costume back to her apartment. So my mother would just put on her whatever she'd worn to the beach. She'd put that back on, and my mother would just wear these kind of dressy old ladies dress things. Embarrassing story though, she just stopped wearing undies at all. She'd take her swimmers off and walk back to her apartment, run up the stairs, but she never had any undies on. She didn't want to wear undies to put undies on at the beach, and she'd taken her swimmers off. I'm sharing that with you because my mother went from a 74-year-old lady who was peeing herself without being able to control it to being an 80-year-old lady who was in full control of her bladder and full control of everything. I don't know how exciting that sounds to you, but I'm standing here as an old lady, and to me that sounds bloody awesome. So here's what I'm sharing with you. If you're really fit and if you're really strong, is it possible that all of the muscles in your body get stronger? And that's why I get really fascinated about why would you break your body up into little pieces when you come into the anti-aging room, when you come to lift heavy things, when you lift a box of rocks, when you lift a wheelbarrow full of sand. Why would you want to just work one muscle group at a time? The human body works as one piece. So if I put something on the ground and I pick it up slowly and controlled, but it's really heavy, every muscle in my body has to work, not just my legs, not just my butt, not just my abdominals and lower back, what people call the core, but let's have a look at these muscles here, particularly the transverse abdominis, which is one of those muscles that hold me in the upright position and help me lift heavy stuff off the floor. That thing is amazing because that controls all of the internal muscles. So I'm going to share again what happened to my mother. She went from not being able to control the detrusor muscle, the one that holds your wee in, so she was weeing into a nappy. That all stopped because every single muscle on the internal part of her body got really strong. I think that's bloody exciting. What do you think? I think that if you want to stay young and strong for long, if you want to be in control of your tinkle, you want to be in control of your sex life, you want to have a healthy, active, great quality of life for all of your life, why don't we get every single muscle, bone, ligament, tendon, joint, heart and lungs, endocrine system, central nervous system, let's fire it up, make it strong and keep it strong for long. And that doesn't come from light weights, it doesn't come from long, slow plod jogs. It comes from that high intense phosphate system where you do intense activity for 10 seconds, get really puffed. That produces epinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol that helps you do that hard exercise. And then of course you get dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, and I always share endorphins with passion and enthusiasm because that's a pain-killing neurotransmitter. So it actually helps you do the hard work, but the hard work's only 10 seconds, and then you get a brain-derived neurotropic factor fertilizer running through your brain so that your body now and your brain become healthy, fit, and strong, and you can stay that way for long. So if you want to have a great sex life, if you want to have full control of your tinkle, if you want to have great hair, great skin, great nails, you want to have good posture, you want to have a strong immune system so you don't get sick, if you want to have a fast metabolism so that you burn calories fast and you can stay lean for the rest of your life, how about use this amazing drug, this amazing medication called high intense activity? I again share with you that I'm standing here as an old lady, passionate and excited about being healthy, fit and strong, and I would love you to be healthy, fit and strong for the rest of your life. That's why I'm here every day. The Romax, the whole concept of Romax is simple. My sharing of my passion, enthusiasm, education, training over many decades of life. How do I get fit? How do I get strong? How do I have a career or business that I'm absolutely passionate about? How can I become financially free so I can enjoy my life without having to worry about money? And how can I attract great people into my life so that I can share all of that with them, particularly the relationship that you have with yourself. But I'll go just a little bit further, and one of the most personal things for me as an exercise professional. Can you imagine what it was like to be able to take a 74-year-old lady who was my mother and give her that quality of life? Technically 38 extra years of life, because everybody in her family died under the age of 60, and my mother lived till 98 and she died peacefully in her sleep. I have that goal, that dream, because I saw that happen to my mother. Now, I think we can live much older than 98. My mother didn't have a great upbringing, and she certainly didn't she lived through the Second World War, so she had some major health challenges and challenges with being even able to get food. But now the longevity experts are suggesting that we could live 120, 30, 40, 50 if we stay fit, if we stay healthy, if we stay strong. And the side effects of that amazing medication called intense activity is that every part of your body works so much better, is in great shape. You can be a high performance machine and you can love your life fit and strong for long. Woohoo! I feel good. No. I knew that I would now. I'm going to stay young and strong and fit for long. Woohoo!